I do not believe my words, a wicked man may understand, nor that he be so bold as to stretch his hand to fair deeds' land. For his spirit wills that he undertake such things wherein the prize is lost. Let whoever will reprove his sake, and no writing, I believe, can defend his cost. Nor outcry, nor shouts that men make, nor may right ever be heard or raised aloft. For always he offends God's grace with deeds all unchosen and base. Greatest worth that is, and the best in the world's wide space, is given in help I wis, there where mercy guides their pace. But to the taker's face, to whom sense seems folly's case, and blame seems praise is grace, and wrong deeds a gallant race, and shame seems honor's place, and vexing courtesy's trace, and giving grief's embrace, and taking sweetness lace, and song in others weeping's trace, and joy and others anger's base, and another's outcry's face. Now you may see and know of a base man and his pride. He thinks himself worth, although he is worth nothing and helps no side. But at the close of the day's own glow, when the need is come and cannot hide, at the final fall laid low, when death has taken him open-eyed, he parts from his wealth and so, like a thing that is lost and cast aside, that he cannot hold and lo, you must know and let it show, that if he had the power to bestow, the filthiest remnant he would keep and hide, and would hold it and not let go. Man, why does it not come to mind, while you live in pomp and pride, how and of what kind you were made in the beginning's tide, and let it come to mind indeed in your great well-being's hour, what becomes of all and what must succeed, all you put into the belly's power, and look well and take heed, and weigh your life and its flower, where it goes and from what seed. For if of a vile thing you were made in need, it is fitting, as is decreed, that you turn to the dwelling's tower of baseness and little worth at that hour. You too, of a rich man when he devises great wrongs to do, and on small spending he prizes, on giving little he sets his view, and on taking without ceasing he rises. Let him look at the earth anew, how into the earth he sinks in all guises. How can he think through and through that God alright, all the mass that he prizes should guard him as he would have them do, when he goes to pray and sue to God before the altar's clues? What vow or what promise he advises does he go to offer for all men's view?